So in Daniel 9, chapter 9, all of the numbers in Daniel 9. In the first year of King Darius, he understood the years by the number of years by the books. He understood 70 years are determined. And so when you take, when the nation of Israel became a nation again, 1948, May 14th, 70 full years is coming up. And he also knew by 70 weeks. 70 weeks. Week of years, like a complete full week of years. And you go by that math, and it's what is it, 490 full weeks, full years. And so the nation of Israel was destroyed back in 70 AD, and I believe that's where Jeremiah got that one right, with the weeks. Then you scroll down a little bit. Then the Messiah will be cut off after 62 weeks. And you have 7 weeks and 60 and 2 weeks. Now, does that mean 69 weeks? Or is it 62 weeks, which is years? And then is it 7 weeks, which is, well, what is it? Is it 49 years, or is it 7 literal weeks? Like 7 weeks from April 7th? I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. And then down at the bottom where, he makes a covenant with many for 1 week. And he causes the prayers to cease. He causes the prayers to cease, the oblation, the sacrifice. He causes it to cease. And in the midst of that week, I remember 62 full years after the nation of Israel became a nation again. 62 full years. Because when you go to 2008, it's 60 years, right? And then when you go to 2009, well, first it's 60 years. When you go to 2009, right before, May 14th, the 1 second beforehand, up to that point, it gets to be 60 full years. At the very end of 2008, beginning 2009. So likewise, 2010, 61 full weeks, and then just add another year, 2011, is 62 full weeks. Now, 70 years are determined. At the age of 62 years, I'm just looking at the numbers. You can say weeks, years, months, days. In the Bible, God has a way of, the word that was first, and the word was God. So if you can believe that Jesus Christ is the Word, right? Because the Word became flesh, actual flesh and bones and blood. If you can believe that, well then how can't you believe that the Bible became the Word? And it's just a book made out of tree paper. So if God can create basically like himself in human flesh, and he became the Word, it's not too hard to believe that the Bible, that he can create the Bible too. So you go with the 62, Darius taking over at the age of 62 years. Not that he was 62 years old, but at 62 years, at the end of 62 years, you know, those full years, Darius, you know, the underground Darius, he took over. Everything that a true believer is going through, the opposition, they're playing it out. Day in and day out. They are just mimicking what we are. So you got 62 years, okay? This is how I connect everything in the Bible. Everything that runs parallel. And when things talk about years, well, how do you know that it's not talking about days? And this is why people have a issue with believing the Bible, because they think it's a contradiction. Well, you just have to understand how to read it, and you'll know. Compare spiritual things with spiritual things. So when I look at the numbers, I don't focus so much on it being a day, a year, a week, or a month. I just look at the number itself. So at the age of 62, something changed in the world where, well, you know, there was an angel that was given the key to the bottomless pit in 2011, and once the Messiah was cut off, not for himself, at the end of 62 full years, smoke arose from the pit. No, it's not a literal pit. No, it's not somewhere in the middle of the earth. God's judgment began. Smoke, fire, pillars of smoke, fire and brimstone, the rain from heaven. That began in 2011. Everything began in 2011. Everything began in 2011. Just asked Apollyon over there. I'm sorry. What are you now? See, that's why I subscribed. Because when you try to skate away and hide your name and your account, well, I'm gonna know. Judgment has come. Uh-oh, guys. Steve is really mad. You know, Jesus, my Lord, he's really mad, and judgment is on its way. I couldn't have guessed it at all. I mean, not the least bit. I mean, some things are just not obvious. But, you know, Apollyon, he rose up from the pit after 62 weeks. And then you got, that's why you have 7 weeks and 60 and 2 weeks. Because 60 and 2 weeks comes first. The end of 62 full weeks of years. And then 7 weeks. You know, 7 more years. 7 more full years. It's just the way I interpret it. 7 full years. Which equals, well, it goes to 69, alright? But it also goes into the 70th full week. But then there's one more week. There's in the midst of the week. That's when he causes the prayers to cease, in the midst of the week. So there's that one more week period of time. And there's that 69 weeks, and 70 weeks, and 70 years, and 7 days, and so here we are. My point is, here we are. Someone told us about this, and has been telling us for a long time, and when I go back and listen and watch, you know, the same thing's happening, where it's like the same rumors. You go on YouTube, it's the same thing. Harold Camping he's a liar. A liar. It's so gay because it sounds just like you guys on the other end. The ones that, you're a liar, Robin. I'm supposed to be called a liar. I'm supposed to be called a false prophet. I'm supposed to be called all these things. I just am. And I am supposed to have been silenced already. It was supposed to get so bad. I was supposed to be so harassed and stalked and broken down. That's what was supposed to happen. That was the goal. That was the guarantee. That was the meltdown video. And it never happened. Instead, I'm going all the way to the very end. And so this is, what do I got, 10 more days left? Got 10 more days until I take flight. Flight 322. I'm hopping on board. And I'm out of here. Okay? I'm out. Now, in the meanwhile, I'm going to sit back and I am going to watch everything unfold exactly the way I see it unfolding before it unfolds. Now, my suggestion to anybody, if you care, right, do something it's pretty simple. Just, I mean, you can either take a video, right? Just go down to my my videos and record the titles and the time. Record the date on your computer, the time, and the titles. That's why I titled it that way, so I can go back, either take some screenshots of what I said is going to happen on which date, and let's just see how close I get. And then when it does land perfectly on those dates, then, because YouTube will be shut, I won't have access to all my videos. I didn't record on my computer like Steve did. I don't have videos from 7 years ago where I can just make a new account, a new channel, and then re-upload it, and it'll say 7 years ago, even though you just uploaded it like today. So I didn't. I don't have to do that. If I was supposed to do that, I would have started out that way. That's the way God would have led me into doing it. But my information isn't for me. It's for everybody else, especially the elite. So that's why I came here, to show them, the elite, what their script is, all the way through to the very end, and then to let them know what God's really going to do. And without me telling them, I don't know who else would have. I don't know who else is telling them that. So, taking a quick video and just recording the titles and the events that I'm saying is going to happen, it's pretty beneficial, because when you can't go on YouTube and do that, because once I'm done, I'm done. My channel's shut down. I am shut down. And every account I have will be shut down. And there's no more videos from her, so I'm silent. I'm done. And my basically my testimony is finished. And then that's why once I'm shut down, and then you know, we still got a couple more months to go. It's gonna make Steve really excited, because after 3.5 days of being shut down, well, it's going to be a party. It's going to be, you know, because they're shutting people up that can see what they're doing, and it's detrimental to them when they try to fulfill their plan, even though they truly do want you to know what they're doing. That's why they give all kinds of, you know, obvious hints, and that's why they talk about 40 nights, and they have their mouthpiece, Richie from Boston, to speak for them, an AM TV guy that kind of seems scared to death. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just portraying that way. So that's why they have those people in place. They want you to know what they're doing, and then they want to basically, in the end, laugh in your face, knowing there's nothing you can do about it. But they don't know that there's something that God's going to do about it. And no, Richie, God's not going to stop everything and pluck everybody up before all this happens. No, no, no. But He will flick the switch. Trust me. Or don't. I don't care. It's trust me or don't. It's like, pray to God or don't. I mean, who cares? Whatever. So give you advice and then tell you not to do it or whatever. It doesn't matter. So it's just not a very I don't know. It's just not. It's not very professional, I guess. So they want to tell you exactly what they're doing. They want to execute you as you know that they're going to execute you. And I just want you guys to know that I got 10 days left until 3/2/3, because that's the flight. Saturday, that Sabbath, that's the flight. Trump's going to sign the anti-Semitism, whatever that word is, law. You know, they're always going to spin it like it's for protection of, you know, whoever and whatever. It's to shut our freaking mouths. And if you don't know about those 62 weeks, and if you don't know about the 7 weeks, which is well, you know, 7 full weeks is 8, and 62 plus 8 is 70. So, and at the very end, because God also, He also likes to do this when it comes to the 62 weeks and the 7 weeks. It lines up with 69. Goes all the way to the very end. But at the same time, He loves talking about the 7th and of the 8th day. And Steve does too, trust me. So when you talk about the years as 7 years and into the 8th, up to the 8th full year, just keep that all in mind. Keep that all in mind, okay? We were warned about this a long time ago. And not only did Harold Camping warn us about God's judgment coming upon the world, but he warned us about God's judgment starting at the house of God first, which is in the churches. And also from that point on, then it starts with the entire world. Because after 1988, May 21st, the end of the church age, after that, well, when judgment starts at the house of God, it starts there, then it also started on the entire world. And it starts right here, the house of God. Here, your body is the temple. It's the house. It's the house of God. Whether you abandoned God or not, Doesn't matter. You're still, your temple is still God's. And everybody has a reservation. You know, 7 billion people haven't really accepted that reservation yet that they got. But they will, because yous will all be deceived. All 7 billion of yous that aren't watching my video. You guys, the sky is going to save your life. So technically, the elite, when they think they're going to destroy you and kill you, they're actually saving your life. You know, that's why it's a reward in the end for everyone. The elite's scheme of alien invasion, asteroids, I see Fletcher's, you know, he's pushing the asteroid. It's like, if you claim you know truth, every time it's the same. If you claim you know truth, right? I'm just saying, if you claim you know truth and you know the Bible and you understand and you're wide awake and you can see everything, right? You believe in outer space and you believe in those planets and you believe that asteroids are real and it's not just like a video game, and you believe that comets and asteroids are going to it's going to graze by the Earth on 322, about 120 miles of wall. I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. 120. Nah, because that'd be April. So that's not lining up with the miles of wall. Anyway, what bothers me sometimes is that I know people are lying, you know? That part is sickening. I mean, I understand why people have to do it, but man, it makes me sick. Because I can hear it in the voice. I can hear it. I can hear, like, people they're pretty excited, but, you know, because the bunker call is coming, 322, and it pleases Darius to set 120 miles of asteroids into the province there, and the number of years of man is, you know, it's like 120, and 12 is thrown in there. 12 tribes, 120 days. It's all connected, but it makes me sick when I know that people are lying, and that's what I feel like. I feel like I know when people are lying, and purposely withholding information that can help people. So you guys are going to get yours, whether, let's put it this way, God said that you guys will get beaten with many stripes. So what exactly does that mean? Beaten with many stripes? Is he literally going to beat you guys with stripes? I don't know. Nobody's letting that guy over. Or is it going to feel like you're being beat with many stripes because you guys cannot rule the world like you thought you would? But see, again, there's a cleansing period. You guys are going to shut everything down. You're pulling the asteroid card. You're pulling the alien invasion card. I can't believe anybody would believe it. I mean, but that's just me. But then I see how so many people are going to believe that there's freaking literally aliens in the sky invading us when we are the aliens, the ones that are invading the elite. So they're going to probably, you know, show how they're going to destroy them because they're showing how they're going to destroy us. Everything happens. Just a few days later, the real script. You don't think God knew you guys, you freaking clowns, are going to do this? He had no clue, right? He had no idea you guys are going to bring Israel as a nation again on May 14th, 1948. He had no clue that you guys were going to go 70 full years and pull this invasion of asteroids and aliens and being and a rapture happening and the war with all these countries coming against America and Israel, and he had no idea that you guys are going to do that. Not at all. So therefore, because God had no idea, you don't think he planned this to just let you guys get, you know, that's the damn sense of humor that God has. It's like, he's going to allow you guys to make you think that you truly won. You have to feel that way. You know why? Because that's what it feels like to be beaten by many stripes. No more than 40, of course, you know, 39. Which reminds me of the 39-year trigger that Steve's talking about from the Georgia Guidestones back in 1980 and March 22nd, 1980. The 39-year trigger. Hey, Steve, are you trying to say that you know that Christ was 39 years old when he was crucified? 39 and a half to be exact. But is that why you're doing that? Because you know that Christ was literally 39 and a half years old when he was crucified? And then somebody's going to take Christ's place, right? That's a given. Now, I always was under the impression that 144,000 are going to take the place of Christ. But you decided on your own that you are going to take the place of Christ. And not only take the place of Christ, but you are going to take the place of Satan. So it's like you're stealing both birthrights at the same time. You're literally saying that you are both of the witnesses in one, just you. That's the kind of shit that gets on people's nerves when you start taking credit for everything in the world as an imposter. Now, I don't know why people believe that Christ was 33 when he was crucified, as if he was born in the year 0. Just saying. I go by one person. This same Harold Camping that I have listened to and was the only person out of every pastor, theologian, everybody that I've ever heard on TV, on the radio, on the internet, whatever it was, him, I heard. He made a lot of sense. When I first started hearing spiritual things click and understand that the Bible is a spiritual book and you can't take it all literally, it started to resonate. I've learned. Everybody has teachers in this world, don't you? I mean, isn't there, it's like some people say, well, I listen to Pastor Charles Larson, and Charles, well, yeah, that's fine, that's great. He was one of those guys that, yeah, you know, false prophet Harold Camping. He was pissed. He was pissed. He was excited that he was a false prophet and nothing happened. And because, you know, Harold Camping got everybody who believed to get the hell out of the churches because God is not in that building anymore. And all the pastors, they didn't like that. They hated him for it. Good. So when I talk, well, I feel like I make sense too. I feel like I resonate with a lot of people. And because when I watch people, right, and I see straight through like their delusion, like when I watch Richie from Boston, I resonated with a lot of stuff he said, right? Because a lot of things I was thinking, he said it. But I can see now how he is so lost. He is completely delusional. So is the AMTV guy. And so are you, Steve. Delusional. To believe that you can actually conquer the world and defeat God is so freaking stupid and ridiculous. But it's purposed that way, that you guys got to do that. So in the meanwhile, you have this wicked heart. You have these wicked plans. It's only going to last for a few days. You are going to get victory. Yes, Steve, you will prosper and succeed with your craft. And you will silence and kill the saints on the internet. They will be dead. Their flight will be taken. And you will prosper and succeed and stomp the truth to the ground. And but it only lasts for, you know, just a little bit of time it lasts for. So, you know, when I see all this, I hear all the numbers, I read between the lines, I can see it, I know exactly what Steve's doing. You know, Steve, that Christ was 39 years old when he was crucified. And you know that the two witnesses are given 42 months. 42 months to continue. You know, like 42 full months. Going into like the 43rd month. Yeah, it could be a month, it could be 42 weeks, it could be 42 years, it could be 42 hours, it can be, you can look at it as 3.5 years, or you can look at it as 42 months. It's your call. But you know, Steve, you know what I'm saying, don't you? Imposter. The Jesus Christ imposter. Causing his craft to prosper and succeed. Christ was born 7 BC, everybody. Just so you know. Just so you know. 7 BC. Which makes him 39 and a half when he was crucified. Now, was he really crucified on April 1st? Or is that the big April Fool's joke? Or was he crucified October 2nd? Was he born October 2nd, crucified 39 and a half years later, April 1st? Or was he born April 1st and crucified 39 and a half years later, October 2nd? I don't know. I just know he was 39 and a half years old, and he wasn't 33, and he wasn't 37. And Steve is an imposter. And, hey, Steve, the people that you're playing out in the Bible, all those people, they're real. They are on earth. And they're taking their birthright back.